Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we are stepping into the hidden world of wolves, a place where daily survival depends on cooperation, intelligence, and the ability to adapt to nature's harshest environments. Imagine a path of paw prints crossing vast terrain, from ice and forest to open plains. Envision a world of quiet communication and shared boundaries, where scent carries information and every choice can determine the outcome of a hunt. As we travel through this landscape, we will drift between biology and behavior, between ecosystems and history, and we'll uncover the difference between what people think they know and what science is really uncovering. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. For now, settle in and let your shoulders soften. Allow your breathing to slow, and allow the day to fade away as your mind unwinds into this fascinating world. Let's begin. A wolf's tail is a flag, showing mood, intent, and rank. In a pack, the tail speaks before the mouth does. The way it moves can show confidence, uncertainty, excitement, or restraint. A slow wag can be friendly, while a stiff tail can warn that patience is thin. During greetings, tail position helps prevent misunderstandings, especially when wolves rush together after being apart. During tense moments, the tail can signal whether a wolf will yield or stand firm. This is important because packs cannot afford constant fighting. Wolves use body language to keep the peace, and the tail is one of the clearest signals in that language. Rank is part of it, yet rank is not always about aggression. It is often about who has priority and who takes responsibility. A leader may hold a posture that steadies others, and a younger wolf may lower its tail to show respect. In a moving group, tails become a silent conversation. Wolves rely on ritualized displays to avoid serious injuries. Most conflicts inside a pack never become a real fight. Instead, wolves use a rich set of signals, but let tension drain away before teeth meet flesh. A stiff-legged walk can say, "Hold your ground." A lowered body can say, "I yield." A turned head can say, "I am not challenging you." These gestures are not weakness. They are safety systems. In the wild, even a small wound can get infected, or it can slow a hunter enough to cause starvation. Wolves cannot afford constant damage, so they evolved a way to settle disputes with theater instead of blood. You can watch two wolves circle, posture, and freeze. Then one breaks eye contact, and the moment ends. It is dramatic, yet it is controlled. That control keeps the pack functioning, because the pack needs everybody healthy when winter and hunger arrive. Wolves coordinate hunts with body language faster than any spoken plan. In the final approach, sound can ruin everything, so movement becomes the message. A shift of weight can mean ready. A sudden freeze can mean wait. A low forward posture can mean push now. Wolves watch each other while also watching the herd, and they adjust in real time as the prey reacts. One wolf may walk slightly away from the wolf pack to become a silent barrier. Another may drive from behind to keep the target moving. A third may stay close enough to provoke a turn. It is improvisation with shared rules, built through experience. Terrain matters too. Wolves use gullies, trees, and ridgelines to hide their approach and narrow escape routes. When it succeeds, it looks effortless. Underneath, it is constant reading, signaling, and split-second decisions made at running speed. Wolves use clear play signals so the gruff games never become real fights. A wolf drops its front legs, lifts its rear, and holds that pose for a beat. The message is simple. This is a game. That signal matters because wolf play can look intense. Teeth flash, bodies slam, and chases explode across the ground. Without clear signals, practice could become a real fight. The bow creates a shared understanding before the action starts, and it can restart the game when things get too heated. Pups use it constantly, and adults use it too, especially when they are inviting a younger wolf into a safe lesson. It is communication that protects relationships. It also shows how social rules are learned. Wolves do not rely only on strength to settle moments. They rely on signals that keep cooperation intact. A pack that plays safely is a pack that stays coordinated when stakes are real. Wolf packs often target the most vulnerable prey, which can strengthen prey herds. When wolves hunt, they rarely choose at random. The safest targets are often the ones already struggling, like animals that are injured, very old, or weakened by disease or harsh weather. That preference reduces risk to the wolves because a healthy adult can kick, gore, or drag a predator into danger. Over time, this can influence prey populations. Removing the most vulnerable can reduce the spread of certain illnesses, and it can shift competition so stronger animals have more access to food and space. It is not a moral story. It is a pattern shaped by survival. Wolves follow the path of least danger, and prey herds respond with vigilance and movement. The result can be a herd that is harder to catch, and a predator that must stay smart. In that way, wolves and prey push each other toward greater fitness, season after season. Wolves sometimes adopt orphaned pups, even when food is scarce. In a harsh environment, raising extra mouths seems impossible, yet packs have been observed taking in pups that are not their own. This is not a simple act of charity. It can be shaped by powerful instincts and by the value of a larger, more capable group in the future. A pack that keeps pups alive today may gain helpers tomorrow. Older juveniles can become skilled hunters and defenders, and that can increase the family's resilience. Adoption can also happen when a lone pup is found near a den area and is young enough to be accepted without triggering aggression. Wolves are not only competitors on the landscape. They are social animals with bonds that can stretch beyond strict genetic lines when conditions allow. A wolf's ears rotate to pinpoint tiny sounds in tall grass. Those upright ears are not fixed ornaments. They are mobile receivers that can swivel to catch faint clues, then help locate exactly where a sound began. Small muscles adjust the angle, and the brain compares timing and volume between the two ears to build a direction map. This matters most when visibility fails, like in brush, at night, or in falling snow. Wolves can pick up the squeak of a small animal under cover, or the soft crack of a hoof stepping on frozen branches. They may pause, tilt the head, and rotate one ear slightly, as if tuning a radio. That moment can decide whether the pack commits to a stalk or moves on. Hearing also supports social life. Wolves track the movement of packmates through sound, even when they cannot see them. In a world full of wind and distance, rotating ears turn noise into information. Wolves can recognize individual packmates by voice alone. In a dark forest, voices can be more reliable than faces. Wolves produce a wide range of sounds, from long howls to short barks, whines, and soft contact calls. Each animal's voice carries a signature shaped by body size, throat shape, and learned patterns. That individuality matters when the pack is spread out. A wolf can choose whether to approach based on who is calling, not just where the sound came from. Mothers and pups also rely on vocal recognition, especially when the den area is busy with movement and scent. Scientists have tested this with playback experiments, and wolves respond differently to familiar voices than to strangers. Recognition builds coordination and trust, and it reduces confusion when speed matters. In a world of snow, shadow, and distance, a voice can be a name. Wolves can sense storms, and they change movement before weather turns. When pressure shifts and wind carries a new edge, wolves often respond before the first snowflake lands. They may travel early, moving toward shelter, or they may push hard to reach a known resting place while routes are still safe. Storms can erase tracks, bury scent, and make hunting harder. They can also raise danger, because falling snow hides holes, weak ice, and sudden drops. Wolves that anticipate weather gain time. Time can mean reaching a den area without getting stranded, or crossing open ground before visibility collapses. Some packs also feed heavily before severe weather, then rest while the storm passes. Conserving energy when searching would be wasteful. This is not supernatural prediction. It is sensitivity to cues that humans often ignore, like wind shifts, humidity, and the behavior of other animals. Wolves live outdoors every day. Their bodies and choices are tuned to the sky. Wolves can form pair bonds that last for years. A breeding pair is often the steady core of pack life. Their bond is reinforced through travel together, shared decisions, and synchronized behavior during stressful moments. They may hunt in coordination, check on pups in turns, and lead movements that the rest of the family follows. A lasting bond reduces conflict because it stabilizes leadership and reduces competition at the top. It also improves cooperation during pup rearing, when the pack cannot afford confusion. The bond is not a fairy tale. It is built through daily reliability. Over time, the pair learns each other's timing and temperament, which can make the whole group more efficient. When one member is lost, the impact can ripple through the pack structure and routines. That shows how meaningful the relationship is in practical terms. In wolves, long partnerships are not only about reproduction. They are about building a functional society that can survive year after year. Wolves see well in dim light, thanks to lit-reflecting eyes. At dusk, the world flattens into shadow, and wolves are built for that hour. Behind the retina sits a reflective layer that sends unclaimed light back through the light-sensing cells, giving vision a second chance to catch what is faint. That is why a wolf's eyes can seem to glow when a flashlight hits them at night. The glow is not magic, it is recycled light. This adaptation helps wolves move and hunt when many animals start to relax, and when human eyes begin to struggle. Low light also hides detail, so wolves lean on motion and contrast. A deer shifting its weight, a tail flick, a dark shape crossing pale snow. These become readable signals. Night does not silence the landscape. It changes the rules. Wolves are among the animals that thrive when the rules change. Wolves help rivers move, forests regrow, and landscapes change. Predators can reshape ecosystems by changing how herbivores behave. When wolves are present, deer and elk often avoid feeding too long in exposed places where escape is harder. That shift can give young trees and shrubs a chance to grow beyond constant browsing. Healthier vegetation can stabilize riverbanks, reduce erosion, and shade water in ways that benefit fish and insects. More plant growth can also support more nesting sites and food for birds. In some places, increased woody growth helps beavers, and beaver ponds can store water and create habitat for amphibians and waterfowl. None of this is planned by wolves. It is an ecological chain reaction that begins with fear, movement, and choice. A predator can influence the shape of a valley simply by being there, changing the daily decisions of the animals it hunts. Dogs descended from ancient wolves, but wolves are not feral dogs. Domestication was a long relationship, not a single moment. Over many generations, the animals that handled human presence best gained an advantage around camps, and people gained benefits from early warning and shared scavenging. Selection favored traits that fit life near humans, including tolerance, attentiveness to our cues, and flexibility in diet. That path produced dogs, which are adapted for partnership with people. Wolves followed a different path shaped by wild prey, territory, and a family-based pack. Their instincts prioritize caution, long-distance travel, and reading other wolves with precision. Even when a dog and a wolf look similar, their social expectations can be very different. Treating wolves like oversized pets invites misunderstanding. Respecting them as wild specialists explains why they thrive best with space, boundaries, and the freedom to make their own choices. Wolves can trot for hours, saving energy for the final chase. Their most famous speed is not a sprint. It is a steady, ground-eating trot that can roll on and on like a metronome. The gait is efficient, with long strides and minimal bounce, so less energy is wasted lifting the body. Over time, that matters more than any burst of speed. A pack can cover huge distances while still arriving alert enough to make decisions. This is how wolves turn a landscape into a searchable map. They can move from river bottoms to ridgelines, then back again, scanning for tracks, scent, and movement. When they finally find prey, they are not spending their last reserves. They are spending a budget they protected all day. Endurance also changes risk. Wolves can abandon a bad opportunity and keep traveling, rather than forcing a dangerous fight out of desperation. Their long muzzle warms cold air before it reaches the lungs. A winter inhale can feel sharp enough to sting, yet wolves breathe it in all season. The secret is in the nose and the long nasal passages. Cold air moves across warm, moist surfaces inside the muzzle, and it is tempered before it reaches the lungs. Moisture is also recovered on the way out, which helps conserve water in dry, freezing conditions. This is the kind of adaptation you never notice while watching a wolf trot across snow. It is quiet engineering that supports long travel and steady effort. A wolf can run, pause, and run again without the same shock that cold air can cause in less adapted animals. The muzzle also carries an enormous scent system, yet the breathing function alone is impressive. It is a built-in climate control system, working with every breath, all winter long. Their long legs and narrow chest make distance travel remarkably efficient. If you could sketch endurance, it might look like a wolf in motion. Long legs extend stride length, and a streamlined body reduces wasted sway. The narrow chest is part of that design, letting the limbs move in a straight, efficient line rather than swinging wide. Over many miles, small savings become huge. Wolves can cross valleys, climb ridges, then drop into forests without burning themselves out. That efficiency also supports choice. They can search longer before committing to a hunt, and they can walk away from bad odds without collapsing into hunger. You can see it in their posture. The head stays level, the back stays steady, and the movement looks like it belongs to the land. This is not the build of an animal that lives on quick bursts. It is the build of a traveler that expects distance and can afford it. Wolves can bring down prey many times heavier than themselves. They do it with strategy, not raw strength. A pack often focuses on separating one animal from the herd, then keeping it moving until the cost of every step adds up. Wolves take turns pressing, feinting, and cutting off angles. They force sharp turns that drain energy and increase the chance of a stumble. They also avoid danger with timing. One wolf rushes in to test the defense, then slips away as another takes its place. Hooves and antlers can kill, so caution is part of the method. The hunt can last miles, and the real contest is endurance and decision-making. When the moment finally comes, it is usually quick. What looks like power is often patience, teamwork, and the ability to keep thinking while running. A wolf pack is usually a family, not a random gang. Most packs form around parents and their pups from 1 or more years, plus older offspring that have not left yet. That makes cooperation feel less like a deal and more like daily life. They share travel routes, resting places, and hard-learned lessons about danger. The younger wolves learn by watching, then by trying, then by being corrected. When food is scarce, the group still prioritizes the survival of pups because the family's future depends on them. Even conflict inside the pack is often managed through ritual and posture rather than serious injury. When a young wolf eventually leaves, it can be a gradual step, not a dramatic banishment. The result is a social unit with memory, roles, and bonds that can last through brutal winters and long, hungry stretches. One howl can travel for miles through cold, still air. That distance matters in a world of wide valleys and thick forests where sight fails quickly. A howl can pull scattered packmates back together after a chase or announce presence to neighbors without a direct fight. It could also carry identity. Packs recognize familiar voices, and a group chorus can sound larger than it is, which may discourage rivals from testing the boundary. The timing of howling can be practical too. After dusk, air conditions often carry sound farther, and night travel makes reunion more urgent. To humans, a howl can feel like a haunting song. For wolves, it is a tool that moves information across space. When tracks are covered by snow and darkness, hides every landmark. In a single long note, a wolf can turn distance into connection. Wolves remember rival packs, and they defend borders with precision. Territory is not just space. It is access to prey routes, safe den sites, and familiar escape paths when danger appears. Packs patrol edges and reinforce messages with scent marks that can linger long after the animal has passed. Rival packs read those signs and respond with their own, and over time, the boundary can become surprisingly consistent. When pressure rises, wolves do not always rush straight into conflict. They may shadow intruders, assess numbers, and choose the moment that favors them. The risk is real. Serious fights can cause injuries that lead to starvation. That is why intimidation and information matter so much. A boundary that holds can prevent constant clashes. It also protects the stability of the family inside, especially when pups are small and winter travel is costly. Their paws spread like snowshoes, helping them float on soft snow. In deep winter, movement is survival. Wide feet and tough pads help wolves stay closer to the surface of powder that swallows heavier animals. That advantage grows with every step. Prey may punch through crust, waste energy, and overheat from the effort. Wolves can keep a steadier pace, turning snow into an ally rather than an obstacle. Fur between the toes adds insulation, and the pads handle rough ice and sharp crust without tearing easily. This is not only about chasing. It is about traveling long distances to find food when the landscape is silent and empty. Winter also changes where animals gather, which means wolves must adapt their routes again and again. A body built for cold weather travel can be the difference between arriving hungry and arriving too late. Their thick underfur traps warmth like a living quilt of air. Under the longer guard hairs sits a dense layer of fine fibers that hold still air close to the skin. That air is the real insulation because air slows heat loss far better than exposed skin can. The outer coat sheds snow and repels moisture, while the underfur keeps warmth steady when the wind bites. This is why wolves can sleep curled on frozen ground and rise without panic. It is also why wet conditions are more threatening than dry cold. Water can collapse the insulating air pockets and steal heat quickly. Wolves respond with behavior as much as biology. They choose sheltered resting spots. They curl to protect the belly, and they tuck the nose into the tail. A winter coat is not just clothing. It is survival equipment that lets a predator keep hunting when other animals are forced to retreat. Wolves use scent posts like signposts, leaving messages for strangers. To a wolf, a tree trunk, a rock, or a bend in a trail can become a bulletin board. Urine, scat, and scent from glands carry information that can outlast footprints by days. These messages can signal who passed, how recently it happened, and whether the animal is mature, healthy, or ready to breed. They can also prevent violence. If a wandering wolf reads strong signs from a resident group, it may choose to detour instead of pushing forward. That reduces the chance of a costly fight. Scent posts also help packs coordinate without meeting. A wolf can follow a familiar chemical trail to rejoin others, even after a night of separate searching. It is communication that works while the sender is gone, and it turns the landscape into a network of invisible notes. A raised tail can signal confidence long before teeth are shown. Before any growl or snap, posture often decides what happens next. Tail height is one of the clearest signals in that silent conversation. A high tail can project confidence and control, while a low tail can communicate caution or submission. These signals help wolves avoid injuries, because serious wounds can mean death by starvation later. Wolves read the whole picture, including stiffness, eye contact, and the way weight shifts over the paws. The tail is like a flag that ties those cues together. Pups learn this language early. They test boundaries in play, then adjust when an older wolf changes posture. Over time, the group develops a smooth way to settle tension without constant fighting. The remarkable part is how much can be resolved without contact. A single tail lift can redirect a crowd, calm a dispute, or warn a rival to keep distance. A wolf's bite pressure is built for cracking bone and tendon. Strong jaws are a survival tool, especially when food is hard-won. After a kill, wolves can access nutrition locked inside tough hide, sinew, and bones. Marrow is rich energy stored deep within, and reaching it can matter during long, cold stretches when prey is scarce. Powerful teeth also help during the struggle of a hunt, when a brief hold must resist twisting muscle and sudden impacts. Yet strength is paired with caution. A wolf cannot afford broken teeth or a damaged jaw, so it uses force with precision and often relies on packmates to reduce risk. This ability also means less waste. Wolves can consume parts that many animals cannot, and scavengers benefit from what remains. What seems brutal is often about efficiency, making the most of a rare and dangerous success. Pups learn cooperation through play, and play shapes real hunting skills. Play is not wasted energy for a wolf pup. It is training that feels like fun. Pups chase, wrestle, and tumble, and they practice switching roles without turning it into real harm. One moment a pup is the pursuer. The next, it is the one escaping. That role switching teaches flexibility, which later becomes useful when hunts shift quickly. They also learn bite control, because a hard bite ends the game and damages trust. Timing develops too. Pups discover when to lunge, when to pause, and how to read tiny signals that say, keep going or stop. Adults sometimes join in, and their presence adds structure and boundaries. The lessons sink in without lectures. By the time a young wolf begins following hunts, it already understands spacing, turning, and teamwork, because those patterns were rehearsed in play long before they were needed. Wolves can fast for days and eat enormous meals quickly. Food in the wild arrives in waves, not in neat daily portions. Wolves are built for that reality. After a successful hunt, they may eat fast and heavily, filling the stomach with meat that must last until the next opportunity. The body can handle that surge, then shift back into endurance mode when the landscape goes quiet. During lean times, wolves conserve energy by resting more and traveling with purpose rather than wandering. This feast and famine rhythm shapes the whole pack. A big meal can change mood and behavior, making wolves more relaxed and willing to play. Hunger can sharpen focus and make the group cautious. What seems extreme is simply adaptation to unpredictability. Wolves do not expect regular meals. They expect long stretches of searching, interrupted by brief moments when everything depends on speed, coordination, and the ability to take in enough fuel. For the next chapter, wolves can swim across wide rivers, lakes, and icy channels. Water does not always stop a wolf, and that surprises people. Wolves can enter cold rivers and keep their bodies level, pushing forward with powerful strokes while the head stays high and alert. This opens routes that would otherwise be blocked by geography. A pack can follow prey across a channel, reach new hunting grounds, or escape pressure by crossing where rivals hesitate. In places with ice, wolves may navigate a shifting edge of slush and open water, choosing stable crossings with care. Swimming is not casual because cold water steals heat quickly, yet wolves still do it when the payoff is worth the risk. Tracks have been found leading straight into water and emerging far away, as if the landscape had a secret door. When you think of wolves as only land animals, you miss how adaptable their journeys can be. Packs may split peacefully when grown offspring start new families. Not every pack breakup is a battle. Sometimes it is a quiet turning point. As young wolves mature, they may begin traveling more at the edges of the group, testing independence while still returning to familiar safety. Eventually, a pair may drift farther, then farther again, until one night they do not come back. They may settle in open country, find prey routes, and begin marking a new home. This kind of split can reduce competition inside the original family, and it can spread the species into new habitat without a violent takeover. The original pack remains, and the new one forms with knowledge carried forward. It is a social ripple, not a collapse. For the wolves that leave, it is a high-risk choice with a huge reward. A new territory means new danger, yet it also means a future shaped by their own decisions. Wolves communicate calm with nose touches and gentle muzzle licks. Wolves have ways to say, "We are safe together," without making a sound. A brief nose touch can be a greeting, a check-in, or a reassurance after tension. Muzzle licking often appears when younger wolves approach older ones, and it can reduce conflict by signaling respect and trust. These gestures matter because pack life is close quarters. Wolves eat, travel, and rest in a tight social space where misunderstandings could turn costly. Calm signals keep the group cohesive, especially around food or after a stressful encounter. You might see it after a reunion, when a wolf returns from scouting and is met with soft contact rather than suspicion. Touch becomes a social glue. It steadies the pack's emotional weather, and it helps wolves shift from alertness to cooperation in seconds. In a wild life full of risk, calm is not a mood. It is a tool. A single pack can have distinct dialects of howl patterns. Howls are not all the same long note. Packs can develop recognizable patterns that differ in pitch, rhythm, and the way voices overlap. Those differences can emerge from learning, because young wolves grow up hearing their family's chorus and practicing within it. Over time, a pack's sound can become familiar enough that neighbors can tell who is calling without seeing them. That recognition has real consequences. It can reduce risky encounters, because wolves can decide whether to approach, avoid, or answer back based on who they hear. It can also support reunion, because a scattered pack can home in on a sound that belongs to them. The idea of a dialect is exciting because it hints at culture, not just instinct. These are learned patterns passed through a family group. In the darkness, a pack's voice can become an identity as clear as a track in fresh snow. Wolves can sprint fast, but endurance is their true advantage. A sprint is a spark, and wolves can produce it when they must. Their bodies can surge into a quick burst to close a gap, dodge a kick, or force a prey animal into a mistake. Yet a sprint is expensive. It burns energy fast and can overheat a working body, especially during an intense chase. Wolves balance that cost by saving their bursts for moments that matter. Most of the hunt is controlled pressure, positioning, and watching for fatigue in the animal ahead. Then the sprint arrives like a decision, not a reflex. This approach also protects wolves from injury. A reckless high-speed chase can end in broken bones or torn muscles. Wolves are athletes that play a long game. The thrilling part is not that they can run fast. The thrilling part is that they know when not to. They use surprise, terrain, and teamwork more than raw speed. Many hunts are decided before the chase even begins. Wolves watch the landscape and treat it like a set of tools. A narrow draw can funnel movement. A patch of trees can hide an approach. A steep bank can slow a fleeing animal at the worst possible moment. Wolves position themselves like living chess pieces, with one wolf applying pressure while another waits where escape routes narrow. Teamwork is not just many wolves running together. It is timing and role choice. One wolf may provoke a turn. Another may hold a line that looks empty until it is too late. This method lets wolves hunt prey that could outrun them in a straight race. It also keeps risk manageable, because wolves can force mistakes instead of wrestling strength against strength. When you picture wolves as pure speed, you miss their real edge. They are problem solvers that can run. Wolves often hunt into the wind, protecting their scent advantage. Wind can betray a hunter in an instant. If a wolf approaches from downwind, its scent can drift ahead, like an alarm bell, and prey may flee before the wolf is close enough to matter. The poaching into the wind helps keep that scent stream behind the wolf, buying precious seconds of surprise. Wolves also adjust when wind shifts, turning their bodies and roots as if they're steering through invisible currents. In open country, a pack may use a crosswind approach, with one wolf angling to push prey toward a waiting partner while the main group stays upwind. This is not a rigid rule, because terrain and noise also matter, yet wind is often the first plan. It shapes where wolves walk, where they pause, and when they commit. You can imagine the wind as a moving map only wolves can read, and they follow it like a guide. Their whiskers detect close movement, even in darkness or snow. A wolf's whiskers are sensors, not decoration. Each one is rooted in a follicle packed with nerves, making it sensitive to tiny shifts in air and contact with nearby objects. In thick brush or in a den, whiskers can help a wolf judge space without relying on sight. During a struggle over prey, they provide instant feedback about where fur, hide, or bone is positioned. In snowfall or darkness, whiskers help when the eyes are working with limited detail. They can also protect the face by warning of branches, icy crust, or sudden movement at close range. This matters because wolves live at ground level where surprises are constant. Whiskers turn the skin of the muzzle into a kind of close-range radar, helping wolves move with confidence when vision is not enough. It is one more way they stay precise in a messy, unpredictable world. Wolves can hear higher pitches than humans, including rodent squeaks. That hearing turns the ground cover into a soundstage. A vole beneath snow can scratch, breathe, and shift, and a wolf can catch those tiny cues while standing perfectly still. The ears pivot like antennas, then the head tilts, as if the animal is drawing a map from sound alone. This matters because small prey can keep a wolf alive when bigger hunting fails, and it also helps wolves locate larger animals before they are seen. The faint clack of hooves on frozen twigs, the soft snap of a stem, the quick exhale of a startled deer, all of it becomes information. Wolves do not only listen for loud signals, they listen for patterns. When the forest looks empty, hearing can reveal that it is not. It is one more reason wolves can move with confidence through darkness and thick brush. They cache leftover meat, then return when hunger rises again. A large kill can be more than a single meal. Wolves sometimes hide extra food by dragging chunks away from the main site, then tucking them under leaves, snow, or loose soil. This does two things at once. It reduces the chance that scavengers will find everything at once, and it spreads risk across the landscape. A pack can return later, even after weather has changed the scene, and still recover valuable calories. Caching also supports long travel. A wolf that remembers where food is stored can revisit a familiar place during lean days, like returning to a pantry. Yet the wild is never guaranteed. Other animals can steal a cache, and thawing can spoil it. That uncertainty makes memory and timing important. Caching is not hoarding for comfort. It is a strategy for surviving the gaps between success when the next hunt is not waiting on a schedule. Wolves prefer wild prey, even when livestock is easier. Most wolves are shaped by the chase of natural prey, and they tend to stick with what their instincts and experience have trained them to do. Hunting deer, elk, or similar animals fits the patterns a pack learns over years, including where to search and how to coordinate. Livestock can look easy, yet it brings unfamiliar danger. Human activity, fences, lights, and sudden noise can turn a simple approach into a fatal mistake. Even the scent of people can push wolves away long before a camera or a rifle is visible. When wild prey is plentiful, wolves usually focus on it. Problems often rise when natural prey becomes scarce or access to habitat is fragmented. That is why coexistence efforts often start with restoring prey, securing attractants, and using deterrents. Wolves are not drawn to conflict for fun. They are drawn to survival, and they often choose the safest path. A wolf's stomach acid helps digest tough tissue and bone. Eating in the wild means eating what is available, not what is convenient. Wolves can swallow dense muscle, cartilage, skin, and even fragments of bone, and their digestive system is built to handle it. Strong stomach acid helps break down material that would challenge many animals, and it reduces the risk from bacteria that can grow on meat. This is especially important when wolves return to a carcass over time, or when cold weather preserves food in ways that still allow microbes to linger. Efficient digestion also means wolves can extract more nutrition from each success, which matters when hunts are dangerous and uncertain. Nothing about this is delicate. It is rugged biology designed for irregular meals and hard winters. Wolves can turn a carcass into fuel with impressive thoroughness, leaving less wasted and making space for scavengers to benefit from what remains. Wolves can smell prey from astonishing distances in the right wind. For a wolf, the air is full of clues. A faint scent can suggest which animals passed, how long ago, and whether there might be weakness worth investigating. Wind direction shapes how wolves move, and they often angle their travel to sample new air, then circle back to confirm what they sensed. Smell can guide them toward a carcass hidden by trees or snow, and it can help them choose where to search when visibility is poor. Tracks help, but scent can start the story before a footprint is even found. This changes hunting from blind wandering into informed pursuit. It also explains why wolves sometimes seem to appear from nowhere. They may have known something was there long before it was visible. In their world, information rides on the breeze. Wolves groom each other, strengthening trust through shared touch. In a pack, relationships are not just decided in fights. They are maintained in small, repeated moments. Grooming can look simple: a lick along the neck, a nibble through fur, a careful cleaning around ears. Yet it carries meaning. It can reduce tension after a disagreement, reinforce bonds between close companions, and help keep parasites under control. Grooming is also an invitation to relax. When one wolf lowers its guard enough to allow another close to the face or throat, it is showing confidence in the relationship. You often see it during quiet rest periods, when the day's effort is done and the group settles into safety together. These rituals help a pack stay cohesive, which matters when cooperation is the difference between eating and failing. Trust is not an abstract idea for wolves. It is built with touch, and it is renewed again and again. They can read fear in prey, and hesitation can trigger pursuit. Predators do not only chase bodies, they chase signals. Wolves watch how a herd holds itself, who lags, who looks back too often, who breaks the rhythm of the group. A moment of hesitation can stand out like a bright mark. When one animal falters, it can create a gap, and gaps invite focus. This is not cruelty, it is calculus. Wolves are weighing risk and reward at high speed, and they prefer targets that reduce the chance of injury. Fear can change how prey moves. It can cause sudden turns, wasted energy, and mistakes in footing. Wolves take advantage of those mistakes, especially when terrain is uneven or visibility is low. Yet prey is not helpless. Herds bunch, defend, and run in coordinated bursts. The drama is in the contest of attention. Wolves are reading the herd as much as the herd is reading them, and the first crack in confidence can shape the entire chase. Wolves sometimes escort injured packmates, slowing the group to protect them. An injury in the wild can be a death sentence, yet packs have been observed adjusting their pace to keep a wounded member within the group's safety. This can look like traveling slower, choosing easier routes, or staying closer during risky moments. The cost is real. Moving carefully can reduce hunting options, and it can increase exposure to rivals. So why do it? Because a pack is an investment. An experienced hunter carries knowledge about terrain, prey behavior, and safe pathways through seasons. Losing that member can weaken the group long after the wound itself. Protection can also be practical. A lone injured wolf is vulnerable, and guarding it reduces the chance of opportunistic attacks. This behavior highlights how wolves balance short-term hunger against long-term stability. They are not machines chasing calories. They are social animals managing a shared life. Sometimes the smartest way to survive tomorrow is to protect one another today. Wolves can travel across sea ice, following seals and open leads. In far northern landscapes, ice can become a shifting highway. Wolves have been documented moving across frozen coastal zones where the boundary between land and ocean is constantly changing. They may follow the scent and movement of seals near breathing holes, or travel along pressure ridges that provide traction and visibility. Sea ice is not a safe floor. It can crack, drift, and open into dark water without warning. That danger forces careful choice, including when to cross and when to turn back. Wind and temperature can reshape routes overnight, so memory must be paired with fresh judgment. The image is striking. A land predator stepping onto ocean ice, reading it like terrain, and using it to reach food that few other hunters can access. It shows how adaptable wolves can be, and how wide their idea of home can stretch when survival demands it. Their winter coat can look almost white, grey, or deep black. Color in wolves is not a simple uniform. Across regions and even within the same population, coats can range from pale tones that blend with snow to darker shades that disappear into forest shadow. This variation can offer practical advantages. In open winter country, lighter coats can make a wolf harder to notice at distance. In dense woods, darker coats can reduce contrast and keep movement hidden. Coat color is also tied to genetics, and different genes can travel through a population depending on history and environment. For humans watching from afar, color can change the entire impression of an animal. A pale wolf can look like a ghost. A black wolf can look like a silhouette cut from night. Yet, they are the same species, shaped by place and lineage. That variety reminds us that wolves are not one image. They are a spectrum of wild solutions. Wolves shed seasonally, trading insulation for summer cooling. When winter loosens its grip, a wolf's body prepares for a different problem: heat. The thick winter underfur that once trapped warm air becomes a burden, so wolves shed heavily, releasing tufts that can snag on brush like drifting smoke. The lighter summer coat improves cooling and reduces the risk of overheating during long travel. Shedding also changes behavior. Wolves seek shade, rest more during the hottest parts of the day, and may shift activity toward cooler hours. Their world becomes about water sources and breezes as much as it is about snow and shelter. The transformation is easy to underestimate until you see it. The same animal that looked massive in winter can look sleeker in summer, not because it is weaker, but because it is adapted. Seasonal shedding is a reminder that wolves are tuned to the calendar, and their bodies change with the demands of the land. Wolves can overheat in warm weather, so shade and water matter. When the air turns hot, a thick-coated endurance hunter has a new problem. Heat can build faster than it can be shed, especially during long travel or a chase. Wolves cool themselves mostly by panting, and that cooling depends on evaporation. Dry shade, a breeze, and access to water can make the difference between moving safely and pushing into danger. In warm seasons, wolves often shift their schedule. They travel more in the cooler hours and rest more during midday. They choose routes that pass streams, ponds, or damp lowlands, and they may pause to wade or drink before continuing. Heat also changes hunting decisions. A risky chase that might be possible in snow can become too costly in summer. Survival is not only about finding food. It is also about managing the body's limits. The pack's older members teach routes, prey habits, and danger signs. Experience is a resource, and in wolves, it can be carried by the oldest travelers. An older wolf knows where elk tend to cross a river and which ridge stays windswept when snow piles deep. It knows where humans appear seasonally and where a shortcut becomes a trap. Young wolves learn this by following, watching, and making mistakes under supervision. The teaching is not a classroom. It is a long, guided tour of a living map. On a night journey, a young wolf may try to lead, then be redirected with a nudge or a change in pace. Over months, the pack's knowledge becomes shared knowledge. This matters because territory is more than space. It is a set of safe choices. When older wolves are lost, packs can struggle, not only from fewer bodies, but from missing memory. In the wild, memory is survival. Wolves can track by scent on snow, even after light winds. Snow looks clean, yet it can hold a fading history. As an animal passes, scent clings to disturbed crystals, crushed plants, and the faint warmth left behind. A light wind can smear those clues, but it does not always erase them. Wolves lower their heads, move slowly, and sample the trail in short pulls of breath. They may cast back and forth until the strongest thread reappears, then follow it with growing confidence. Tracking is not only about direction, it is about timing. Wolves can sense whether a trail is fresh enough to pursue or too old to waste energy on. In winter, the difference matters, because travel is costly. This is a hunt that begins with patience. The scene can feel empty to human eyes, yet a wolf can read it like a page, finding a path that is written in air and snow. They often test prey first, searching for weakness without wasting energy. A pack does not always commit the moment it sees a herd. Wolves may approach, then pause, then apply pressure in a careful way. They watch how the herd responds. Who stumbles? Who falls behind? Who guards the center well? This testing phase is part of safety. A strong adult can injure a wolf with one kick, so wolves prefer to learn before they risk a close encounter. Testing can look like a short rush that forces movement, then a pull back to observe. It can look like parallel running that keeps the prey alert and reveals which animal tires first. To humans, it can seem like indecision. It is the opposite. It is information gathering under pressure. Wolves are choosing a target that reduces danger and increases success. In that way, the hunt begins long before the chase. It begins with a question, and wolves know how to ask it. Wolves can recognize humans as threats, and they learn quickly. Wolves live in a world where one encounter can change everything. A loud engine, a sudden shout, the scent of people near a carcass. These can become warnings that shape future choices. Wolves learn from patterns. If a trail repeatedly brings danger, they avoid it. If a valley fills with human activity at certain times, they shift their travel elsewhere. This ability to learn can help them survive in fragmented habitats, but it also makes them hard to see. In many places, wolves become more nocturnal near roads and settlements, not because they prefer darkness, but because it lowers risk. They can also learn the boundaries of deterrence, like flashing lights or guard animals, and adjust their approach. That learning cuts both ways. It can reduce conflict when humans use smart protections. It can also increase trouble when wolves are repeatedly rewarded. Wolves pay attention. They remember. Their eyes are more gold than green, tuned for low light. In daylight, a wolf's gaze can look warm and bright, yet the color is only part of the story. The eye is built to perform when light is scarce. Wolves rely on sensitivity and motion detection. which helps at dawn, dusk, and under a canopy of trees. In those conditions, color detail matters less than contrast and movement. A slight shift in a herd, a dark line moving against snow, a flicker behind brush. These are the cues that guide decisions. The golden look is often most striking when a wolf turns its head and catches the sun. Then the eyes seem to hold the light for a moment. It is easy to romanticize that stare, but the function is practical. A predator that can see just a little better in dim conditions gains time. In hunting, time becomes distance. Distance becomes dinner. Wolves can be silent hunters, padding without a sound on moss. A wolf can move like a shadow when it needs to. Soft ground helps, but the animal's control matters more. Each step is placed with care, and weight shifts smoothly so there is no sudden thump. In forests, moss and needles can muffle sound, and wolves take advantage of that. Silence is not only for getting close to prey, it is also for avoiding notice from rivals. A pack moving quietly can cross contested edges without advertising its route. Watching a wolf stalk can feel uncanny because the body looks relaxed while the attention is intense. The head stays low, the shoulders roll lightly, and the paws land with precision. That quiet approach can shorten the distance before a chase begins, and it can force prey to react late, which creates confusion in the first seconds. Those first seconds often decide everything. They can judge distance well, leaping ditches and fallen logs. A wolf on the move is constantly measuring space. A ditch that looks small can twist a leg. A log can trip a runner at the worst time. Wolves solve this with sharp depth judgment and superb body control. They scan the ground while still tracking what is ahead, and they adjust stride without losing rhythm. During a chase, that ability becomes thrilling. A wolf can clear a gap, land, and keep running, as if the earth never changed. In forests, quick leaps over deadfall can decide whether the pack stays close to prey or loses the trail. In rough country, a clean jump can prevent injury that would end a season. These are not flashy stunts. They are survival moves repeated across thousands of steps. Wolves live in landscapes full of obstacles, and their bodies are tuned to read those obstacles at speed, then pass over them cleanly. Wolves can chew frozen meat, using back teeth like shears. Winter does not always offer fresh food. Sometimes a carcass freezes hard enough to feel like wood. Wolves can still eat it. Their back teeth are shaped to slice, and jaw muscles deliver steady force that can crack through stiff tissue. They work the meat with small, repeated bites, shaving off pieces rather than tearing wildly. That method keeps the teeth safer and reduces the chance of breaking them on ice-hard bone. It also lets wolves take advantage of food that other animals might struggle to use. In deep, cold, frozen remains can persist, which turns the landscape into a scattered set of opportunities for a wolf that can handle the texture. Imagine finding a meal locked in ice, then having the tools to open it. This ability stretches the value of each kill, and it makes winter less absolute. A den site is chosen for safety, shelter, and escape routes. A den is more than a hole in the ground. It is the first fortress of a new generation. Wolves often choose sites with cover, dryness, and a view of approaching danger. A slope can drain water. Nearby brush can hide movement. Multiple exits can provide a quick escape if a bear, rival wolves, or humans appear. Location matters too. A den needs access to prey areas, yet it cannot be placed where traffic is constant. The adults are balancing privacy with practicality. Once pups arrive, the den becomes a hub of quiet activity. Adults come and go, bringing food and information. The ground around the entrance becomes a storybook of tracks and scents. Choosing the right site can raise pup survival dramatically. Choosing the wrong one can force the pack into risky travel at the worst time. In a wolf's year, the den decision is one of the biggest. Mothers move pups between dens when danger increases. If a den becomes risky, a mother does not always defend it to the end. She may choose relocation. That decision can be triggered by repeated disturbance, predators nearby, flooding, or even parasites building up in one spot. Moving pups is not easy. Young pups are fragile and slow, and the journey exposes them to cold, hunger, and discovery. Yet staying can be worse. A mother may carry pups one by one to a new place, often a secondary den or a sheltered rendezvous site. The pack's other members may help by guarding routes or keeping watch while the move happens. This behavior reveals how flexible wolves can be. They do not treat a den as sacred ground. They treat it as a tool, and tools can be replaced. The goal is simple: keep the pups alive. When conditions change, wolves change with them. Wolves can carry pups gently by the scruff, like domestic dogs. That carry looks simple, yet it requires precision. The mother grips the loose skin at the back of the pup's neck. The pup goes still, and the weight hangs in a way that avoids injury. This response is partly instinct. It keeps the pup safe during transport and reduces frantic movement that could draw attention. Scruff carrying is used for short moves inside a den, for relocation between sites, and for pulling a pup away from danger. It also reflects something tender in a tough life. A wolf's jaws can crush. Those same jaws can also hold a pup without harm. Watching that contrast can shift how people imagine wolves. The mother is not acting out of softness. She is acting out of careful control and fierce responsibility. Each pup is the future of the pack. Being able to move that future quickly and safely is an advantage that matters. Adults regurgitate food for pups, turning meat into easy meals. When pups are small, they cannot travel far or chew tough chunks. Adults solve that problem in a way that seems strange to humans, but is perfect for wolves. After eating, an adult returns and brings up partly digested meat. The pups rush forward, and the meal is ready without chewing through hide or struggling with bone. This does more than feed them. It lets pups stay near shelter while the pack hunts at distance. It also spreads nutrition efficiently, because the adults can consume quickly at a kill site, then deliver it to the den later. You can imagine the den as a nursery that must be stocked like a larder, and regurgitation is the delivery system. It is not glamorous. It is effective. In a world where pups cannot follow the hunt, this behavior bridges the gap between the kill and the cradle, and it helps the pack raise young in harsh seasons. Siblings often babysit, making pup survival a shared mission. In many packs, older pups from previous years do not just tag along. They contribute. One way is by staying near the young pups while adults travel to hunt or patrol. Babysitting can mean guarding, keeping pups from wandering, and responding fast if danger appears. It can also mean play that teaches boundaries and confidence. For the older siblings, this is training too. They learn patience, social leadership, and how to manage chaos without aggression. For the pack, it is a survival multiplier. More eyes near the pups means fewer accidents and faster warnings. It also frees adults to search farther for food. This shared care shows how pack life turns family into a working system. A wolf pup is not raised by one parent alone. It is raised by a network of relatives, each adding something different. When you see pups thrive, you are often seeing the work of siblings as much as parents. Wolves can adjust hunting tactics to elk, deer, or smaller prey. A wolf that used the same plan for every target would fail quickly. Different prey demand different solutions. With large animals like elk, the pack may rely on pressure and position, probing for mistakes while keeping distance from hooves. With deer, the pace can change, and quick turns through brush become part of the strategy. With smaller prey, a lone wolf might hunt without help, using quick pounces and careful listening rather than group pursuit. Weather and terrain also shape tactics. Open ground favors long approaches. Forest cover favors close stalking and sudden movement. Wolves are flexible because their survival depends on reading the situation, not forcing a favorite method. That flexibility is one reason wolves can live in so many habitats. It is also why watching a hunt can feel different each time. The pack is not performing a routine. It is solving a new puzzle with a new opponent under new conditions. Wolves can bring down a moose, but it is risky and costly. A moose is not just big, it is armed. Those legs can strike like hammers, and the hoof edges can open deep wounds. That is why wolves treat a moose hunt like a high-stakes calculation. They often look for snow that slows the moose, or terrain that limits its escape. Then they apply pressure in careful waves. They test reactions, they watch for fatigue, and they avoid the front where kicks land hardest. Even when the pack succeeds, the price can be injuries that linger for weeks. A single sprain can turn a hunter into a burden. This is why wolves do not hunt moose casually. When they do, it is usually because other prey is scarce, or because conditions tilt the odds. It is one of the clearest examples of wolves behaving like strategists, weighing danger against hunger. Wolves shape scavenger life, feeding ravens, foxes, and countless insects. A kill site becomes an event. The pack eats first, then the ripple spreads. Ravens appear fast, sometimes circling above before the wolves have even finished. Foxes may wait at a distance, testing for safety, then slip in for scraps. Smaller scavengers arrive later, including beetles and flies that turn leftovers into new life. Even bones can become food for creatures that gnaw and break them down over time. This matters because wolves do not only remove prey, they also distribute nutrients across the landscape. Dragging pieces away creates multiple feeding spots, which can reduce competition at a single pile. In winter, a carcass can sustain many animals during the hardest weeks. Wolves are not trying to run a pantry for the forest, yet their hunting creates one. In that sense, a predator becomes a provider, supporting an entire community that depends on shared leftovers. Ravens sometimes guide wolves to carcasses, then steal bites in return. Ravens are not just noisy followers. They are sharp-minded opportunists that can treat wolves as partners of convenience. A raven can spot a carcass from the sky, then lead wolves by flying ahead and calling, hopping from tree to tree like a moving sign. The wolves gain a meal they might not have found quickly. The ravens gain something they cannot create alone, because a closed hide is hard to open with a beak. Once wolves tear it, ravens can dart in for bites, often grabbing and retreating before a wolf can react. It can look like theft, yet it is more like a trade arranged by nature. The relationship is tense and clever on both sides. Wolves tolerate the birds, because the birds can point to food. Ravens take risks because wolves create access. It is a wild alliance built on hunger and intelligence. Their paw pads resist cold and rough ice better than bare skin. A wolf can run across crusted snow and frozen streams as if the cold is only a detail. The paw pads are tough, and they are built to handle abrasion from ice, grit, and sharp crystals. Blood flow can be regulated to reduce heat loss, and fur around the toes adds insulation where it counts. This matters because wolves cannot avoid winter ground. Every hunt, every patrol, every mile depends on feet that keep working. A cut pad can end a season. That is why wolves move with careful placement and why they choose routes that balance speed with safety. When you see tracks in snow, you are seeing more than a footprint. You are seeing a design that allows a predator to travel when the world is trying to freeze movement out of existence. Their feet are survival tools, letting wolves keep going while many animals slow down. Wolves can survive in deserts, forests, tundra, and mountain ranges. This is one of the most astonishing things about wolves. They are not tied to one kind of world. In deserts, they must manage heat and water, traveling at cooler times and using shade. In forests, they navigate thick cover and surprise encounters, reading scent and sound at close range. In tundra, they face wind, open distance, and long winters where prey can be far apart. In mountains, they deal with steep slopes, thin air, and snow that changes by elevation. The common thread is flexibility. Wolves adjust diet, travel routes, and hunting style to match what the land offers. They also adjust social behavior, because pack size and spacing can shift with prey availability. This wide habitat range is why wolves have such a powerful place in human imagination. They have learned how to be wolves in almost any landscape that can support prey, and that makes them one of the great survivors of the mammal world. Some wolves hunt beavers, using patience near ponds and dams. Beavers are not easy prey. They are strong, they bite hard, and they have an escape route that leads straight into water. Wolves that hunt them often rely on timing rather than speed. They may wait near a dam or a well-used trail, watching for a beaver to waddle out with a branch. They may stalk the shoreline, using cover to close distance without being seen. The best moment is often when the beaver is on land and committed to a task. Even then, a beaver can pivot and dive fast, and thick fur can make a grip difficult. Wolves that learn this hunt become specialists in reading water edges, mudslides, and the quiet signs of nightly work. This kind of hunting shows how wolves adapt when large prey is scarce. A pond becomes a hunting ground, and a dam becomes a meeting point between two powerful engineers of the ecosystem. Wolves can dig quickly, throwing soil with powerful forelimbs. Digging is not just for making dens. It is also for reaching hidden resources and reshaping a safe space fast. Wolves can scrape away soil with rapid strokes, using forelimbs like shovels and claws like rakes. In some areas, they may dig to expand a den entrance, clear a resting hollow, or reach small prey that hides underground. Digging can also create cool spots in summer because deeper soil can be cooler than the air above. The speed is what impresses. In a short time, a wolf can move a surprising amount of earth, then settle into the result as if it were planned. This ability connects wolves to the ground in a physical way. They are not only travelers across terrain, they can also modify it, creating shelter and opportunity with their own bodies. It is a reminder that survival sometimes depends on making your own space. A wolf's chest can expand deeply, supporting long aerobic travel. Endurance is fueled by oxygen, and wolves are built to draw in a lot of it. A deep chest allows strong lung capacity, and steady breathing supports long periods of movement without switching into exhaustion. This is part of why wolves can cover vast areas while still staying alert enough to hunt or respond to rivals. The body is tuned for aerobic work, the kind you can sustain, rather than repeated all-out bursts that burn out fast. You can picture a wolf trotting with that steady rhythm, breathing in a way that looks almost calm. That calm is performance. It means the muscles are being supplied efficiently and the brain stays clear for decision-making. In the wild, a hunt is not only physical, it is mental. Wolves must judge wind, distance, and danger while moving. A body that can travel aerobically gives them time to think, and time often becomes success. Wolves can turn sharply at speed, using tails for balance. A chase is full of sudden angles. Prey jukes, jumps, and darts toward cover. A wolf that cannot turn cleanly will lose distance, or worse, injure itself. The tail helps here as a counterbalance. When the body shifts direction, the tail swings to stabilize the turn, like a tightrope pole working in reverse. This is especially useful on snow, mud, or uneven forest ground, where footing can betray you. Sharp turning is also part of pack tactics. Wolves may funnel prey toward a waiting partner, which requires rapid changes in position without losing momentum. Watching it can feel like watching a dance at high speed, with bodies bending around trees and dips in the earth. The tail is not just a social signal. It is also a physical tool that supports athletic precision. In a world where a half-second matters, balance becomes a weapon. Wolves can run on crusted snow where heavier prey breaks through. In late winter, snow can harden into a thin crust that holds a light-footed traveler, yet collapses under heavier weight. Wolves can take advantage of that difference. Their feet spread pressure across a wider surface, and their stride is tuned for stable travel on uncertain ground. A deer or elk may crash through the crust with every step, punching down into softer layers. That costs energy fast, and it can scrape legs and slow escape. Wolves can stay higher, moving with fewer stumbles and less effort, then apply pressure until the prey tires. It can look unfair, yet it is simply physics meeting adaptation. Winter changes the rules of movement, and wolves are among the animals best equipped to read those rules. When the snow becomes a trap for one animal and a road for another, the landscape itself joins the hunt. They sometimes follow migrating herds, learning the calendar of movement. Some prey animals travel seasonally, and wolves can treat that movement like a living timetable. A pack may shadow a herd's route for days, then return to the same valleys year after year, as if it remembers where food will appear next. This is not only instinct, it is learning shaped by experience. Wolves notice when rivers thaw, when high country greens, and when herds begin to shift. Young wolves absorb those patterns by traveling with older packmates, and the knowledge becomes part of the family's tradition. Following migration also requires patience. A pack must choose when to keep up and when to conserve energy, because chasing constantly can waste more than it gains. The reward is immense. A moving herd can sustain a pack through seasons when local prey is scarce. In that way, wolves do not only live in a place, they live in a schedule written across the land. Wolves can read fresh tracks like a story written in mud. A track is more than a footprint. It can reveal direction, speed, and the weight of the animal that made it. In soft mud or wet snow, depth and spacing hint at whether the animal was walking, trotting, or running. A sharp edge suggests freshness, while a softened rim suggests time has passed. Wolves combine those clues with the surrounding scene. Broken twigs, scuffed leaves, and disturbed grass can confirm the path. Even the angle of a slide can show where the animal turned or hesitated. This skill turns a forest into a readable surface where invisible animals become visible through their traces. A wolf may pause at a crossing, sniff, then choose one branch of the trail with confidence. That confidence is earned through practice. For wolves, tracking is not a special trick. It is literacy, and it guides them through a world that rarely sits still. Their nose has far more scent receptors than a human's. Human smell is a small hint of what the world offers. For wolves, scent is a dominant sense that can guide choices from long distances. The nose is packed with receptors that detect tiny amounts of chemicals, and the brain is built to sort that flood into meaning. A wolf can sample a breeze and learn what moved through the area and how recently it happened. It can follow faint trails that humans would never notice, and it can separate overlapping scents as if they were distinct threads. This ability changes how wolves hunt because they can begin planning before prey is ever seen. It also shapes social life because scent can reveal who has been nearby and whether the area is safe. To imagine a wolf's experience, try to picture a landscape where every path has a signature and every animal leaves a lingering fingerprint in the air. Wolves live in that layered chemical world every day. Wolves can taste blood chemistry, hinting at stress and health. When wolves bite and release during a hunt, they are not only gripping, they may also be gathering information. Blood and bodily fluids carry chemical signals linked to health, stress, and disease. A wolf that gets even a small taste may learn that the animal is weaker than it looks, or that it is pushing hard under fear. This could influence the pack's decision to continue or to shift focus to another target. The idea is unsettling, if it makes sense. Wolves must reduce risk, and the more they know about a target, the better they can choose. This is part of what makes wolves feel so intelligent as predators. They are not only reacting to what they see, they are sampling the situation in multiple ways. In the wild, information is safety. A predator that can read hidden signals has an advantage that does not depend on speed alone. It depends on perception and judgment. Wolves rarely attack people, and most avoid humans entirely. For most wolves, humans are not prey. Humans are risk. Wolves often respond to human scent and noise by changing direction, increasing distance, or shifting activity to quieter hours. In many places, wolves become difficult to observe precisely because they avoid contact so consistently. When rare incidents do happen, they are often linked to unusual circumstances, like habituation from feeding, or wolves being cornered, or severe food. Stress. That is why wildlife agencies emphasize not feeding wild animals and securing attractants. A wolf that learns people equal food can lose the caution that keeps everyone safe. The most common reality is far less dramatic. Wolves pass through the same landscape as people, then slip away unseen. Their success as a species includes this ability to stay out of trouble. When you hear wolf stories, it is easy to imagine constant danger. In practice, most wolves live their entire lives without ever approaching a person. Conflicts with livestock often rise where wild prey has declined. When natural prey becomes scarce, the landscape becomes a harder place for predators to make a living. Wolves may travel farther, take more risks, and explore unfamiliar options. Livestock can become part of that picture, not because wolves prefer it, but because it is present and predictable. This is where conflict can rise, especially in areas where habitats are fragmented and wild herds are reduced. The story is rarely simple. Weather, fencing, carcass disposal, and grazing patterns can all influence whether wolves encounter livestock. That is why solutions often focus on changing conditions rather than blaming a single animal. Restoring wild prey, reducing attractants, and improving husbandry can lower pressure. It is also why conflict varies so much from place to place. Wolves are responding to the opportunities and limits of a given landscape. When the wild pantry is emptying, wolves may test the edges of what remains. Understanding that helps people design smarter ways to share space. Non-lethal tools can reduce conflict, protecting wolves and ranchers together. Coexistence often works best when it prevents a problem before it escalates. Non-lethal tools aim to do that by making livestock harder to access and by teaching wolves that certain areas are not worth the effort. Range riders can increase human presence in a way that discourages approach. Flaidry lines with flags can create a visual barrier that wolves hesitate to cross, especially when used strategically. Guard animals can add another layer of deterrence. Better fencing, nighttime corrals, and rapid removal of carcasses can also reduce temptation. The goal is not to punish wolves. It is to change the cost-benefit equation so wolves choose wild prey and keep moving. These methods can require work and adaptation, yet they can reduce losses and reduce the pressure for lethal control. The hopeful part is that the tools are flexible. They can be combined, adjusted to local conditions, and improved over time. When conflict drops, both people and wolves gain space to live. Wolf populations can rebound when given space, law, and tolerance. Wolves have strong survival tools, yet they cannot outpace constant persecution. Where legal protection, habitat, and prey availability align, wolves can recover from very low numbers. Packs form, territories stabilize, and young wolves disperse to fill empty spaces. That recovery can be slow at first, then accelerate as more breeding pairs establish. Yet it depends on social acceptance as much as biology. Wolves need safe corridors to move, and they need conflict managed in practical ways. When communities invest in coexistence, recovery becomes more stable and less polarized. Wolves also face modern barriers, including roads, habitat fragmentation, and disease. So a rebound is not simply a return to the past. It is a new arrangement in a changed world. Still, the capacity is there. Wolves can repopulate large areas when they are allowed to exist as wolves. The return of their howls is not just a sound. It is a sign that an ecosystem is making room again. Genetic diversity matters because isolated packs can weaken over generations. A pack can thrive socially while still facing a hidden biological risk: isolation. When wolves are cut off by roads, development, or heavy conflict zones, they may have fewer opportunities to meet unrelated mates. Over time, that can lead to inbreeding, which can reduce fertility and increase health problems. Genetic diversity acts like a reservoir of options, helping a population adapt to disease, changing prey and new climates. Dispersing wolves, the ones that leave their birth pack, are especially important here. They carry genes across distances and connect separate groups into a stronger whole. That is why wildlife corridors matter and why connectivity is often a key goal in conservation plans. The story of wolves is not only about numbers. It is about relationships across a map. A population can look stable for a while, then quietly erode if it becomes too isolated. Keeping pathways open helps wolves remain resilient through the long future. Wolves can interbreed with dogs and coyotes in some regions. This happens where boundaries blur. It is most likely when wolf numbers are low, when individuals cannot find mates of their own kind, and when human-altered landscapes bring different canids into closer contact. The offspring can carry a mix of traits, and that matters because it can change behavior, body shape, and even how animals fit into an ecosystem. For researchers, hybrids can also complicate tracking and protection, because genetics may not match what an animal looks like in the field. Hybridization is not always common, and it is not the story of wolves everywhere. It is a regional phenomenon shaped by opportunity and pressure. That pressure often comes from habitat fragmentation and repeated losses. In a sense, hybridization can be a warning light. It can signal that a population is struggling to stay connected to its own kind. The wolf's genome helped scientists trace early dog domestication routes. Modern genetics can act like a time machine because DNA carries patterns of relatedness that stretch far into the past. By comparing genomes from wolves, dogs, and ancient remains, researchers can estimate when lineages split and how populations moved across continents. These studies are not built on a single clue. They combine many small signals across the genome, then test which historical scenarios best explain the patterns. Ancient DNA is especially powerful because it anchors the story to specific times and places. It can reveal surprising relationships, including lost lineages that no longer exist in living animals. The picture that emerges is not a single campfire moment. It is a long process shaped by migration, trade, and changing human life. Genetics does not replace archaeology. It adds a second lens, and sometimes it corrects assumptions. A genome can quietly preserve a journey that no written record ever described. Wolves use facial expressions, including grins, to signal submission. A wolf's face is a social instrument. Lips lift, ears shift, eyes soften or harden, and the meaning can change in a heartbeat. One striking display is a submissive grin, where the lips pull back and teeth show without threat. It looks alarming to human eyes, yet the message is closer to, "I mean no challenge." This expression can appear during greetings, reunions, or tense moments when a lower-ranking wolf wants to reduce conflict fast. It often comes with a lowered body, a wagging tail held low, and quick, careful movements. The goal is to prevent a fight before it starts, especially when excitement is high. Wolves live in close quarters, so they need ways to say, "We are still on the same side." Facial expression is one of their fastest tools, and it can keep pack life stable. They can yawn during tense moments, a calming social signal. A yawn can be more than tiredness. In wolves, it can show up during moments of uncertainty, like before travel, after a disagreement, or when excitement is rising too quickly. Think of it as a pressure valve. The action may help the wolf regulate its own arousal, and it can also broadcast a cue to others that says, "Slow down." In a pack, emotions can spread. One wolf's tension can ripple into the group, and that is risky when cooperation is needed. A yawn can interrupt the build-up and create a brief reset. You might notice it paired with other calming behaviors, like turning the head away or easing posture. It is subtle, yet it fits a wider pattern. Wolves rely on many small signals to keep peace, because injuries are costly and conflict wastes energy. A yawn can look ordinary. In context, it can be a quiet social skill. Wolves can detect movement at the edge of vision quickly. A wolf does not need to stare straight at something to notice it. The outer parts of vision are tuned to pick up motion, which helps in forests, tall grass, and dim light where details hide. A flicker of a tail, a shifting shoulder, a bird bursting upward, any of these can trigger attention before the mind fully understands what moved. This ability is useful in hunting because prey often tries to slip away rather than bolt dramatically. It is also useful in avoiding danger because rivals and humans may appear suddenly at the margins. Wolves often scan with small head turns and brief pauses, letting peripheral vision do much of the work. That scanning style can make them seem watchful even when they appear relaxed. The world is full of subtle movement, and wolves are built to notice it fast. In wild living, the first moment of awareness can decide what happens next. Their pupils widen at dusk, capturing more of the fading light. As daylight drains away, the eye has a choice. It can accept darkness, or it can open wider to gather what remains. Wolves do the second. The pupils expand, letting more light reach the retina, which boosts sensitivity when the landscape becomes a wash of shadow and contrast. This shift is not just about hunting. It is about moving safely across uneven ground, tracking pack mates, and reading the environment during the most active hours of many wild animals. Dusk is also a time of rapid change. Colors fade, shapes soften, and depth cues become less reliable. Wider pupils help wolves maintain visual information during that transition. It is one reason twilight can feel like wolf time. Their bodies are tuned to it. While humans reach for artificial light, wolves adjust their eyes in seconds, and they keep functioning in a world that is sliding into night. Wolves can live well over a decade in the wild. A long life in the wild is not guaranteed. It is earned. Wolves that reach old age have navigated hunger, injury, harsh winters, and conflict with rivals. They have also avoided the dangers that come with roads and human activity. When a wolf survives for many years, it can become a living library for the pack. It knows seasonal routes, safe resting places, and the subtle signs that a hunt is turning risky. Age can also change a wolf's role. An older animal may not sprint as well, yet it can contribute through decision-making and experience. That experience can increase the pack's success and reduce dangerous mistakes. Longevity also reminds us that wolves are not short-lived background animals. They can spend years shaping relationships, raising multiple litters, and building stable territories. A decade of wolf life is a decade of learned choices, stored in memory and carried across miles. A wolf's life is dangerous, shaped by hunger, injury, and rivals. Wildlife is not a single dramatic moment. It is a long chain of risks, many of them quiet. Hunger pushes wolves to travel farther, and farther travel increases exposure to hazards like thin ice, steep ground, and hostile borders. Injuries can come from prey, from falls, or from fights, and even a minor wound can limit hunting ability. Rival packs add another layer. Territory disputes can erupt quickly, and the outcome can decide who keeps access to food. Then there are the human risks, including roads and conflict near settlements. Against all that, wolves must keep functioning as a family group, feeding young and staying coordinated. The remarkable part is that they do. They do not survive by being fearless. They survive by being cautious at the right times and bold at the right times. A wolf's life is a continuous balancing act, and the balance is never permanent. Wolves can lose territory, then regain it through persistence and strategy. Territory is not always stable. A harsh season can weaken a pack, a rival group can expand, or a key animal can be lost. When that happens, borders can shift, and a pack may retreat to smaller ground. Yet loss does not always mean defeat. Wolves can adapt. They may focus on safer routes, strengthen patrols, and avoid risky confrontations while rebuilding strength. They can also wait for opportunity, because rival packs face injuries and hunger too. Persistence can look like repeated boundary checks, careful scent marking, and coordinated movement that signals we are still here. Strategy can include choosing terrain that favors defense, like narrow passes or wooded edges. Regaining ground can take months, and it is rarely a single battle. It is a campaign of endurance, information, and timing. This is where wolves feel almost political. They manage space through decisions, and space determines survival. Some packs specialize, becoming experts on one main prey species. Not every pack hunts the same way. Some become unusually skilled at one kind of prey, learning its habits, escape routes, and seasonal weak points. That expertise can build across years because young wolves grow up watching the same prey patterns and practicing the same tactics. Specialization can shape where the pack lives, when it travels, and how it positions during a chase. It can also make the pack vulnerable if conditions change. If the favored prey declines or shifts its range, the pack may need to relearn, and relearning can be costly. Still, when specialization works, it can be powerful. The pack becomes tuned to its environment like a key in a lock. It knows where to look, how to approach, and when to commit. This turns hunting into something closer to local knowledge than brute force. A pack is not only a group of animals. It can be a tradition of skill, passed through lived experience. Wolves can change the timing of hunts to avoid human activity. In landscapes threaded with roads and trails, timing becomes a survival skill. Wolves may begin moving later at night, cross open ground before dawn, or wait until a busy valley quiets down. This shift is not random. It is learned pattern recognition, built from close calls and hard lessons. When people are active, wolves may hold in thicker cover, then travel once the noise fades. That can also change hunting choices. A pack might avoid chasing prey toward lights or fences, even if the opportunity looks good. It may instead guide the chase toward darker edges and natural corridors where escape routes are familiar. Over time, the schedule can make wolves seem absent, even when they are nearby. They become ghosts by design. The remarkable part is the flexibility. Wolves are not locked to one routine. They can reshape a day around risk, and that reshaping can keep a pack alive. Their howls can reunite scattered packmates after miles of travel. After a chase, a pack can end up stretched across ridges, timber, and winding creeks. Visibility fails fast in that kind of country, and scent can be scrambled by wind and snow. Sound is the fastest bridge. One wolf calls from a high point, then waits. Another answers from far off, and the caller adjusts direction like a navigator hearing a beacon. The gaps close in stages. Wolves often pause between calls, listening carefully, because the reply contains location and movement. A chorus can also serve as a group rally, pulling multiple wolves toward the same meeting point. Reuniting matters. A lone wolf is more vulnerable to rivals, and a split pack hunts less effectively. When you hear back and forth howls, you are hearing coordination across distance, and you are hearing a family pulling itself back into one shape. Wolves can mourn, staying near a dead packmate briefly. Some observers have watched wolves linger near a dead companion, moving with unusual slowness and caution. They may approach, sniff, then stand close without the urgency seen at a normal feeding site. Others may circle the area, as if unsure what to do with the change. It is important not to force a human script onto this behavior, because we cannot measure grief the way we do in people. Still, wolves are deeply social, and a packmate is part of their daily structure. Losing one can affect hunting success, border defense, and pup care. A pause near the body may reflect confusion, attention, or a need to reassess safety. It may also be a moment of recognition in a species that relies on stable relationships. The pack does not hold ceremonies. Yet it can act as if something significant has happened, and then it moves on into a new reality. They can be playful adults, not just playful pups. Adult wolves sometimes play in ways that look like pure joy and also like practice. You might see a sudden chase that ends in a sharp turn, then a wrestling match that stops before it becomes too intense. The key is control. Adults are powerful, so they use restraint, and that restraint is part of what gets reinforced. Play can also repair the social fabric after stress. After tension, a short game can reset the group and rebuild trust. It can strengthen bonds between particular packmates, which later matters when cooperation is needed under pressure. Play also keeps bodies sharp. Quick footwork, timing, and feints can all be rehearsed without real danger. For a social predator, play is not only for the young. It is maintenance for the whole system. It reminds the pack how to move together, how to read signals, and how to keep excitement from tipping into conflict. Wolves can learn from mistakes, adjusting after failed hunts. A failed hunt is a lesson written in hoofprints and breath. Wolves often miss, and what makes them impressive is what happens next. A pack may abandon a route that repeatedly ends in a steep escape, or change where it positions during the first rush. It may learn that a herd always breaks toward a certain thicket, so next time, one wolf waits there early. It may also learn when to stop. Ending a chase at the right moment can save energy for a better opportunity later. These adjustments are easiest to see in familiar territories where the same prey patterns repeat. Young wolves pick up the process by watching experienced hunters respond to failure without panic. Over time, a pack can look more efficient, not because it became stronger, but because it became smarter. Learning turns missed opportunities into future advantage, and it keeps wolves from wasting risk on the same mistake twice. A wolf's coat pattern can identify individuals from afar. At a distance, wolves can look like moving shadows, yet their coats often carry distinctive signatures. One animal may have darker fur along the spine, another may show pale shoulders, and another may have a sharp facial mask that stands out in winter light. These patterns can help researchers and careful watchers tell individuals apart without needing a collar. That matters when tracking family groups over time. You can learn who tends to lead, who hangs back, and who travels with pups. Pattern recognition also reveals something easy to forget. A pack is not a single character. It is a cast of individuals with different roles and histories. Wolves themselves rely more on scent and voice for recognition, but for humans, coat patterns can open the door to seeing wolves as distinct lives rather than greer. Symbols. When a familiar patterned wolf appears on a ridge again, it can feel like meeting someone you know, and that can deepen attention and respect. Ancient cave art shows humans noticed wolves long before written history. Long before writing, people marked their world on stone. In some caves, animals appear in pigment and carved lines, and wolves are among the creatures that made it into that careful record. That choice suggests attention and significance. Wolves shared the same prey and the same seasons, and they moved through the same valleys and passes. Early humans would have seen their tracks, heard their voices, and competed with them at carcasses. They might also have watched wolves as models of coordination in a harsh environment. Cave art cannot tell us exactly what people believed, yet it shows what they considered worth preserving. Painting a wolf took time, light, and effort, which were not casual resources. The image becomes a bridge across millennia, showing that wolves were part of human awareness from very early on. Even then, they were not just animals in the background. They were noticed, remembered, and made into enduring marks. Wolves appear in many indigenous stories as teachers, helpers, or rivals. Across many indigenous cultures, wolves are woven into stories that carry values, warnings, and relationships with the land. In some traditions, wolves are portrayed as teachers of cooperation and family responsibility. In others, they appear as rivals that demand respect and careful behavior. These narratives are not field guides, yet they often reflect close observation of wolf life. They also place wolves within a moral and ecological world rather than treating them as mere pests or trophies. It matters to approach these stories with respect for their origins and meanings, which are specific to each community. Still, the recurring presence of wolves points to a long history of coexistence. People watched wolves, learned from them, and argued with them in the imagination as well as on the landscape. These stories also remind us that wolf knowledge has many forms. Science measures and tests. Story remembers and teaches. Both can shape how humans choose to live alongside a powerful predator. In medieval Europe, fear of wolves shaped laws, myths, and hunting. In medieval Europe, wolves lived closer to human settlements than many modern listeners expect, especially during hard winters. That proximity helped fuel fear, and fear shaped culture. Wolves became characters in cautionary tales, symbols of wilderness and hunger, and threats that communities felt they had to manage. Practical responses followed. People organized hunts, created bounties, and wrote rules aimed at reducing wolves near villages. Over time, those efforts contributed to steep declines in many regions. The cultural echo lasted long after the animals were gone, which is part of why wolf stories in Europe can feel intense and dark even today. This history matters because modern attitudes often carry older memories, even when the landscape has changed. A wolf is not only an ecological actor, it is also a figure in human imagination, and that imagination can influence policy, conflict, and conservation. Understanding the medieval legacy helps explain why wolf debates can feel emotional, even when the data is modern. Modern tracking collars reveal enormous home ranges that change by season. Tracking collars turn wolf movement into a visible map, and the map is often startling. A pack's range is not a neat circle. It can stretch, tighten, and shift, depending on denning, prey distribution, snow conditions, and pressure from neighbors. In one season, wolves may focus on valley bottoms, where prey gathers. In another, they may travel higher, using ridgelines as fast routes through deep snow. Collar data also reveals corridors, those preferred pathways that connect hunting grounds and avoid risky obstacles. This information can guide conservation and conflict prevention, because it shows where wolves are most likely to cross roads or approach livestock areas. It also changes how people picture wolves. They are not creatures of one small patch of forest. They are wide-ranging planners, revisiting key places, avoiding others, and adapting their map as the year turns. A collar does not replace field observation, but it adds scale, and scale is part of the story. Wolves can thrive near people when allowed safe corridors between habitats. What often decides success is not how close wolves are to towns, but whether they can move safely between wild places. Corridors can be river valleys, forest strips, mountain passes, or underpasses that let animals cross roads without stepping into headlights. When those routes exist, wolves can disperse to find mates, reach seasonal prey, and avoid getting trapped in smaller pockets of habitat. That reduces conflict, because trapped wolves are more likely to take risks. Corridors also help packs keep a workable territory without being forced through farms and yards. The surprising outcome is that wolves may live nearer to people while being seen less, because they have predictable, safer pathways that do not require bold detours. In that sense, coexistence can be engineered through geography. Give wolves a connected landscape, and they often choose the quieter route on their own. Protecting wolves can protect entire food webs through trophic cascades. When wolves return to an ecosystem, the change can spread far beyond the animals they hunt. Prey often becomes more alert and more mobile, which can reduce heavy browsing in one spot. That shift can help plants recover, and those plants can support insects, birds, and small mammals. The effect can also influence scavengers that benefit from carcasses, and it can change how nutrients move through soil and water. This chain reaction is called a trophic cascade, and it is one of ecology's most dramatic ideas because it shows how one species can ripple through many layers of life. The key point is that wolves are not only removing prey, they are changing behavior and distribution, and behavior can reshape habitat. The result is rarely identical in every place because each landscape has its own rules. Still, the concept reminds us that predators can be architects, even without intending to build anything. Wolves can influence where deer browse, helping young trees survive. A deer does not need to be caught to feel pressure. The presence of wolves can change where deer choose to feed, how long they stay, and how often they lift their heads to scan. In open river bottoms or narrow valleys, the risk can feel higher, so deer may browse less intensely there. That can give saplings and shrubs a better chance to grow beyond the reach of constant nibbling. Over time, those young plants can thicken into cover, stabilize soil, and support more nesting sites for birds. The story is not that wolves magically grow forests. The story is that fear reshapes patterns, and patterns shape plants. This is one of the most fascinating parts of predator ecology. Wolves can influence a tree's future without ever touching it. They do it by changing the daily decisions of the animals that do. Their presence can reduce overgrazing, benefiting songbirds and beavers. When heavy browsing eases in certain areas, vegetation can rebound in ways that create new homes. Thicker shrubs and young trees can provide cover and nesting places for songbirds that avoid open ground. More woody growth can also support beavers, which rely on branches and stems for food and building material. Beavers can then create ponds that slow water, spread wetlands, and offer habitat for frogs, insects, and waterfowl. In that chain, wolves are not acting directly on birds or beavers. They are shifting how herbivores use the landscape, which can allow plants to recover, which can make room for other builders of habitat. It is an ecosystem story told through indirect effects. The startling part is how quickly it can begin once the pressure changes. A predator arrives, a grazer changes habits, plants stand taller, and suddenly, new voices appear in the canopy. Wolves can be keystone predators with outsized impact on ecosystems. A keystone species is one whose influence is larger than you would guess from its numbers. Wolves can fit that idea because they affect prey, scavengers, and even the behavior of other predators. Their hunting can create food for ravens and other scavengers, and their presence can alter where herbivores travel and feed. Wolves can also change the decisions of smaller predators by competing with them or by shifting where prey is available. The result is a web of responses, not a single straight line. Some effects are obvious, like changes in prey abundance. Others are subtle, like changes in habitat use that show up later in plant growth. Keystone does not mean wolves always improve everything. It means they are powerful drivers in a system, capable of pushing it into a different balance. That is why wolf conservation is never just about one animal. It is about what happens when a top predator is missing and what happens when it returns. Some wolves hunt on beaches, eating fish, crabs, and stranded whales. In coastal regions, wolves can behave like shoreline foragers. They may patrol beaches at low tide, searching for fish, crabs, and other marine food that washes in. They can also feed on large carcasses that the ocean delivers, including stranded whales, which can provide an enormous source of calories. This kind of diet is surprising because it breaks the common image of wolves as strictly inland hunters of hoofed prey. Coastal living also changes movement. Wolves may time travel with tides, use driftwood and dunes as cover, and follow the scent of kelp and salt air to food. It is a reminder that wolves are opportunists with strong problem-solving instincts. If a habitat offers reliable resources, wolves can learn it, work it, and build routines around it. A beach can become part of their territory, and the ocean can become part of their pantry. Coastal wolves can swim between islands, creating surprising island populations. In some coastal landscapes, islands are close enough to invite crossings, and wolves are capable swimmers. When conditions are right, a wolf can enter the water, keep its head high, and push toward land that looks like a dark line on the horizon. These crossings can connect populations that would otherwise be isolated, and they can allow wolves to colonize islands where prey is available. Island life can shape behavior and diet because the menu and the risks differ from the mainland. It can also create genetic patterns that surprise researchers, since water barriers are not always barriers. The image is vivid. A wolf moving through salt water, navigating currents, then stepping onto an island as if it were just another ridge. It reminds us that wolf range is not only about forests and mountains. In the right place, it can include channels, tides, and island chains. Wolves can carry seeds indirectly by moving carcasses across landscapes. A wolf is not a seed disperser in the way a bird is, yet wolves can still help plants travel. When wolves drag pieces of a carcass away from a kill site, they relocate nutrients to new spots. Those nutrient-rich patches can boost plant growth in the following seasons, creating greener, denser vegetation. Wolves can also move fur and plant matter caught on a carcass, which can include seeds and burrs. Even the act of trampling and digging at a feeding site can disturb soil in ways that help certain plants take hold. The point is not that wolves are gardeners. The point is that predators can change where fertility collects, and fertility influences what grows. A single carcass moved and consumed in different places can create multiple pockets of enrichment. Over time, those pockets can shape plant communities, which then shape habitat for many other species. Scientists use wolf scat to learn diets, hormones, and health. One of the most valuable clues wolves leave behind is not a track or a howl. It is scat. Inside it are hair, bone fragments, and other remains that reveal what wolves have been eating. Researchers can also extract DNA to identify individuals and even estimate population size without ever seeing the animals. Hormone metabolites can provide hints about stress and reproduction, which helps scientists understand how wolves respond to human activity, seasonal demands. Parasite evidence can reveal health challenges moving through a population. The beauty of this method is that it is non-invasive. Wolves can live their lives, and scientists can still learn the story of a pack's year. It turns a walk along a trail into a data collection mission where each sample can answer questions about ecology, behavior, and survival. It is a reminder that modern wildlife science often works with traces, and those traces can be surprisingly rich. Every wolf pack is a culture, shaped by place and memory. Two packs can live in the same species and still behave differently. One pack may favor certain travel corridors. Another may avoid them. One may become skilled at a particular prey type, while another focuses on a different opportunity shaped by local terrain and season. These patterns can be learned and passed on because young wolves grow up inside the routines of their family. That is where the idea of culture comes in. Culture is not only for humans. It is learned behavior shared within a group, and it can persist over time. Place matters because each territory has its own puzzles, like river crossings, snow conditions, and human disturbance. Memory matters because wolves remember what worked and what failed. Together, place and memory create a pack style, a signature way of living on the land. When you hear about wolves in general, it can sound like one story. In reality, each pack is its own story, written in habits. As we come to the end of our journey with wolves, notice what we have been circling around all night. Not just an animal, but a whole way of living. We followed endurance that can carry a body across miles of snow and stone. We listened for communication that can travel through darkness and pull a family back together. We lingered near borders drawn in scent and near den sites chosen with care, where new lives begin. We watched intelligence show itself in timing, in patience, in the decision to stop, and the wisdom to try again another way. We also stepped back far enough to see the wider picture. How a single predator can ripple outward, shaping herds, shaping plants, and shaping the quiet architecture of an ecosystem. And we remembered that wolves are not one story. Every pack is its own living tradition, tuned to a particular landscape, carrying memory forward like a trail that only they can fully read. If you enjoyed drifting through this world with me, you might like to take one more slow step. You can tap like, subscribe, or leave a small comment to tell me where you listened from tonight. It helps this channel find others who could use a softer place to land. And if you are still awake, there will be another video waiting on your screen. Let it carry you onward, or let it fade away as your thoughts begin to loosen. For now, let your breathing settle. Let your jaw unclench, and let your shoulders soften. The night can hold the rest. Sleep well, and good night.